The vagus nerve, also known as the 10th cranial nerve, is a major component of the autonomic nervous system, and it plays a role in regulating various bodily functions, including heart rate, digestion, and emotional responses. It's the longest and most complex of the cranial nerves and isn't just one nerve, but a system of nerves. It extends from the brainstem through the neck and branches out to various organs in the chest and abdomen. I'll go over some of the systems in the body that the vagus nerve impact, and then talk about ways you can activate, also called stimulate, the vagus nerve. If you're dealing with heartbreak symptoms like emotional dysregulation, digestive problems, overall stress, anxiety, depression, and insomnia, perhaps some of these practices that stimulate the vagus nerve will be of interest to you. Hi, I'm Patty Blue Hayes, author, coach, and your guide to blossoming beyond heartbreak and cultivating hope as you sow the seeds of healing. The vagus nerve is a major part of the parasympathetic nervous system, often referred to as the rest and digest system. You know that feeling of calm after eating a meal, and your body systems focus on digestion, often why you might feel sleepy or relaxed after eating. But when going through heartbreak, if you have diminished vagal tone, then the sympathetic nervous system is likely more activated. That's the one responsible for the fight or flight response, high alert, higher heart rate, rapid breathing. When we're in an anxious state, the vagal tone is diminished. The vagus nerve helps regulate our heart rate and helps control the activity of the diaphragm and other respiratory muscles. It plays a role in digestion, also has a role in the communication between the central nervous system and the digestive system. The vagus nerve helps counteract the stress response and has an influence on mood regulation. Those are all areas that are typically affected when we're grieving a loss. We're going to cover 5 scientifically supported ways to stimulate the vagus nerve. 1. Cold exposure. Exposure to cold, such as cold showers or immersion in cold water, has been shown to stimulate the vagus nerve. You've probably heard of Wim Hof, a Dutch extreme athlete who popularized cold water therapy. But cryotherapy is something that's been used dating back to ancient Greece. A simple way to incorporate this practice: do a cold rinse after your hot shower. There are amazing benefits to doing this. The shock of cold water can trigger the release of endorphins, which are known as feel-good hormones, and that can reduce stress and improve our mood. Some people do contrast hydrotherapy, alternating between hot and cold, and that can boost the immune system, which, when we're going through a stressful loss, can be depleted, which leaves us susceptible to colds or other illnesses. The contrast of hot and cold can also increase the activity in the lymphatic system, which carries waste products out of the systems in the body. I know how incredibly refreshed I feel after immersing myself in the cool waters of the waterfalls where I live in Panama. I even ventured down a pretty steep trail once because I had a sense that the cool water would help a back pain issue I was dealing with. It had an almost immediate effect. Between the coolness of the water and the weightlessness, even the hike back up the trail didn't have a negative impact. So try a cool or cold rinse in the shower, and if you like the way it makes you feel, continue learning about cryotherapy. 2. Chanting and singing. Vocalizations, particularly from chanting and singing, can stimulate the vagus nerve. If you've attended a yoga class where you chanted Om, you know the resonant feeling that has within your body. The internal vibration within the ears from chanting Om reaches a branch of the vagus nerve, which then activates the vagus nerve centers. If you prefer to sing along to your favorite songs, it's been shown in studies that the controlled use of vocal cords and the regulation of the breath when we sing can cause vagal activation. This is something exquisitely simple that you can easily start doing immediately. There are many phases of intensity during heartbreak, and having coping tools is essential for our survival at some times and for coping at others. Deep diaphragmatic breathing also falls into this category, and I've talked about the powerful effects of deep breathing. This is not meant to be one panicked inhale and sloppy exhale, but controlled, focused, and intentional deep breathing, or doing the physiological sigh that I talked about in another video, will absolutely activate the vagus nerve and bring you a sense of calm. Will that calm last forever? No, of course not. Nothing we do has a permanently fixed effect because we are dynamic beings and our emotional well-being rises and falls depending upon external and internal conditions. But to find relief in the moment of our hollow darkness, that is a gift. It's easy to find apps and videos that provide instruction and guided prompts on how to do these things. The apps will even alert you with a reminder, which I think is a brilliant way to manage your well-being during a time of loss. 3. Let's get physical. We know it's recommended to get regular exercise, but I know for me there were days when I didn't feel like I had the energy or desire to get out of bed. If you're in that stage, then walk to the shower and do the cold water rinse. If you feel like you can leave the safety of your home, get out and walk at a comfortable pace, and be proud of yourself for doing that. If you're feeling well enough, ramp up the exercise to aerobic level. If you do yoga, tai chi, qigong, or aikido, those will all incorporate deep breathing, mindfulness, and physical movement in a lower impact method. And if you can't bring yourself to do Pilates or push-ups, getting a massage or acupuncture treatment will also stimulate the vagal nerve. Please help me continue to create these videos by subscribing to my channel if you find this content valuable. 4. Probiotics and gut health. The vagus nerve is the pathway that connects the gut and the brain. There is ongoing research on this pathway that suggests an unhealthy gut microbiome can cause a multitude of problems for us. The gut microbes influence our memory abilities, our moods, and cognitive functioning. They are a contributor to our central nervous system and our endocrine system. These gut microbes are also clinically and therapeutically related to a variety of disorders, including alcoholism, chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, and restless leg syndrome. For microbiome health, it's recommended that we decrease our refined sugar intake and start including some fermented foods into our dietary choices. Eating foods like poultry, spinach, bananas, seeds, and nuts, which are rich in tryptophan, may improve the communication from the gut to the brain through the vagal system. And of course, it's recommended to include pre- and probiotics in addition to maintaining a balanced diet to have a healthy gut microbiome. 5. Social connections. Positive social interactions and social bonding have been associated with increased vagal tone. And while you might have a tendency to want to isolate yourself, it is vital for us to rely on our supportive relationships during a time of heartbreak. Keep your interactions simple and decide on what activities and length of time will be the best for you. But please do reach out to your support system. And if there's a reason you feel that you just can't, then find an online or in-person group who are going through a similar loss that you can connect with. I felt very ashamed about my self-destructive behavior during heartbreak, and I didn't want to let people know how poorly I was doing. But I did find comfort in engaging with other people online who were going through similar experiences. Whether you've lost a job, had a relationship end, lost someone to death, are heartbroken over a diagnosis, had to euthanize a pet, lost your home or livelihood, we need the support of others so we don't feel so alone in our grief. Remember, you're on a journey of healing and transformation. The seed does not become a blossom overnight.